The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on and they get.
He missed the complete that. He's crazy.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield before. He slides through. He tags Richard Eckman.
Near the banks of the Lambro River sits the royal villa of Monza. We float high above, looking down at historic Autodromo Nazionale Monza, the host venue for this afternoon's Season 6 finale of the Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault 2.0 Championship. And all the action from both the initial 40-minute feature and the 25-minute sprint that follows can be seen live as it happens here on the Global SimRacing channel. Ciao everyone and welcome to GSRC's Countdown to Green. Way up in the press box to bring you our bird's eye view is yours truly, Bill Soupson, along with Sean Crackers Ambrose. Down in the production van turning the knobs and pushing the sliders is our director Amjad Yaman, with cameras at his disposal that have been located, aimed, zoomed and focused by GSRC's camera guru Dougie Beard. As cyberspace flows into your place over the next 15 streamy award-worthy minutes, GSRC will bring you all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to fully appreciate the doubleheader Formula Renault 2.0 Championship event that will immediately follow. Now, Sean, like this season, Monza was the location for last season's finale also. Oscar Mangan earned the feature win and Kerry Nolden did the same in the sprint. And even though both of the drivers and team championships are locked up, you know, we still think that Monza's still going to put on a pretty good show.
Buona giornata. Officially called Autodromo Nazionale Monza. The track is located in the city of Monza, just north of Milan, Italy. Built in 1922, it was the world's third purpose-built racetrack after Brooklands over there in Surrey, England, and Indianapolis Motor Speedway all the way across the pond there in Indiana. Now, the track's proximity to the Ferrari headquarters in Maranello makes Monza the unchallenged home of the Tifosi of the Italian Grand Prix, being held here every year except one. Over the years, the track's gone through several layout changes, including construction of the oval back in '54, but right now, at this very moment, they're still finishing up the final touches on the track with the latest changes that include removing Rettifilio altogether and reworking the Curva Grande area of the track. Now, today, we're going to be on this familiar 5.8 kilometer circuit. Yes, that's 3.6 miles. 11-turn layout race fans have come to know and love. The best way, though, to get an idea of what this place is really like is to jump on board the GSRC Formula Renault 2.0 and take a lap around Monza.
All right, we've got Amjad Yaman in the GSRC Formula Renault 2.0, so let's do a lap around Monza. Coming down the front stretch, one of your best passing opportunities is down into Rettifilio. This is helped tremendously by the draft, so expect slipstream games to happen all day long. The tricky thing is the first chicane is very narrow, so it's not uncommon to see drivers get tangled up trying to go side by side. I can't tell you how many battles I've seen end in tears here because neither side was willing to give way. From there, we now come around Curva Grande. There's not much to it in the Renault, so just do your best to lessen the steering angle to keep from scrubbing off speed. Drift off to the right, spot your brake marker, and then slow it up for Della Roggio. The runoff here looks inviting, but the sleeping policeman means it's bad news to try to take this slow-slung Formula car over those bumps. Also expect the exit to get very dirty from the gravel to the left. Then it's a short burst to the first Lesmo. Ideally, you want to tackle this with a late apex, or else it's easy to understeer wide. Another quick straight, and you're into the second tighter Lesmo. This is an incredibly critical turn to nail if you want to keep cars from having an easy time passing you. That's because it takes you onto this long straight among the trees that's going to dip under the old banking. Then, as it rises back up, you'll brake for Ascari. This final chicane is another good spot to attempt to pass, but it's honestly pretty different from the others. It's faster, and there's 3 apexes instead of 2. Try to focus on your exit from the final left flick to make sure you won't be vulnerable heading down into the Parabolica. And even though I say that, keep in mind that this 180-degree bend is not ideal for passing anyways. There's a couple reasons for this, and they're not all that obvious at first glance. Not only does the final turn have a short braking zone, the fact that it leads onto the pit straight means anyone close enough to have a whiff of your draft is going to slingshot right by. add in the potential effect of an over-under move, and if you're the car behind, it might be better to simply wait. But as we come to the line, we've now finished a lap around Monza.
Amjad Yaman on the wheel, Joe Peak on the mic, taking and talking us around Monza. Now let's quickly review what happened last round at COTA, where 24 drivers took the grid, with Peter Berryman once again sitting on the pole, his fifth try in 5 attempts. When the first lap was completed, it was Berryman in the lead, followed by Josh Thompson and then Adam Tierney. Now, except for one lap during the pit window when Renault Oosterkamp cracked into the top 3, the order up front never changed, and under the checkered flag, it was Berryman, Thompson, and Tierney. For Berryman, it was his 4th consecutive feature win. 16 drivers finished on the lead lap, which meant when those cars were inverted for the sprint race, Jeroen de Quartel was on the pole inside of former champ Kerry Nolden. Nolden grabbed the lead early and built a 5-second gap to the next nearest competitor. Now, while Nolden was doing that, Peter Berryman had worked his way from 16th up into 2nd with 4 laps to go. With 3 laps to go, Nolden made a mistake, and just like that, Berryman was on his way for the elusive double, winning the sprint. Now, points leader Christian Koch came from 12th to 2nd, and Renault Oosterkamp 11th to 3rd to round out the sprint race podium. For the pole sitter, De Quartel, he found trouble and finished out inside the points by 1 in 16th position. So, who was the big points winner from Texas? Now, get this. A perfect score is 57. That's 32 for a feature win, 20 for a sprint win, and the 5 bonus points, which includes a pole, 2 fastest laps, and 2 zero-incident races. Now, a few incidents in both events were the only thing that kept Peter Berryman from perfection. Christian Koch, Adam Tierney, and Renault Oosterkamp finished inside the top 5 in all the events to tie for second best score there with 37. Josh Thompson sits alone in 5th with 28 points solely on the merit of his second place finish in the feature race. So how did all that affect the point standings? Keep in mind that these take into account the 2 drop races, even though a lot of the drivers have used up their drop insurance. With only this afternoon's Monza result yet to be counted, only a rift in the time-space continuum is going to keep Vortex Sim Sports' Christian Koch from winning the championship. I mentioned that 57 is the max points possible for a round, so obviously Koch's 60-point lead is uncatchable. Koch will become the first 2-time champs since the AOR switched over to the Renault. Mega Drive's Phil Reed and Vortex Evosonics' Jean-Francois Godin swapped places. Both those drivers are here today to fight it out for second place. SimRC's Renault Oosterkamp, how about this, jumps 4 spots up into 4th. And then finally, check out the driver in 6th. It is Apex Racing UK's Peter Berryman, up 4 more spots, and with an outside chance, this is unbelievable considering his late entry into the series, to actually finish on the podium. Let's go ahead and look at the team championship, where the Australian duo of Koch and Michael Mittner could not be denied as Vortex SimSports takes the crown. The other 2 podium spots are still up for grabs. Without Oscar Magnuson help, though, Josh Thompson will need to be really on his game to keep Infinity SimSports in the top 3. Reed and Nolden look pretty safe in 2nd, with Adam Tierney and Christoph Holstein for Formula Mini hoping to catch at least one of the teams that are ahead. On the right side of the overlay, there's some close battles. 7 points separate Vortex Evosonic, Force Fissy, and SimRC for 7th position. Formula Renault is always catching new viewers, so for those tuning in for the first time, let's show some of the series details, and my booth partner will walk us through it.
Well, Soup, we are wrapping up Season 6 with today's Round 12. And they do, as you've already explained, they do get 2 dropped races here per season. Today's format, of course, 2 races. We have this wonderful feature race coming up here in just a moment, and followed immediately by a sprint race. The setups on the Formula Renault 2.0, well, it's up to the drivers and their engineers putting up the very best setup they can to get around Monza today. No fast repairs on the Formula Renault, and trust me, Sue, plenty of spots here at Monza to get in trouble and get some damage on that Formula Renault. you're going to want to take care of it because you don't get the benefit of any fast repair here today. Now let's talk about the race details for this event. As I said, 40 minutes in the feature race. We're on track, qualifying now. 5 minutes of it left here. We will grid based on qualifying. Pit stop, it's a pretty wide open window. We've generally seen it's about halfway to about 2/3 way through the race where they'll stop and come in for pits. Have an incident cap out here, 16 incidents. Anything over that, well, we saw at COTA, you will disappear from the sim, and you won't be paid any points because they only pay through 20 positions. So far, I see we have 25 registered soup, so I guess you could disqualify and still finish in a points-paying position if there's a lot of attrition. I don't know if we're going to see that here today at Monza. Yeah.
I think the rules are if you disqualify, you are disqualified. If you don't get those points, even if you are disqualified in a point.
Okay, then I spoke out of turn.
I think that. Well, I don't know. I think that's the rule. As we look at the qualifying over there, you can see Peter Behrman up in front. Terry Nolan, former champion there. Look at that, former champs 1, 2, 3, 4. And actually, Holstein is not a champion. I do not believe. I have to check my records on that. You know, we talk about, Sean, before we get to some of the questions I have for you, take a second and let's think about, you said, this is the final race of the season. It seems like you and I just started. That's because they race every week. So that's 12 races in 12 weeks. We've been doing this, GSRC has been doing this for 3 seasons. That's 36 events in like 36 weeks. Now, throw in that there's 2 races per event, that means there's been 72 checkered flags that we've had to call here on GSRC. That's a lot of action for one series in a short amount of time.
It really, really is. And the thing I really love about this format is the fact that we do regrid in that second race, the sprint race based on the finish and the mad scramble that is the sprint race. It's exactly what it says it is. It's a sprint race. It call it a sprint, call it a mad dash, call it whatever you want. It's always fun. It's always exciting. I don't think Monza is going to be any different today, sir.
Well, there won't be any pitting in the sprint race. We'll talk more about that when the time comes. But let's talk about the feature race. There will be pit stops there. What about the pit lane here at Monza? Anything special to worry about, or is it pretty straightforward?
Well, Soup, you pick it up right out of Parabolica. It's a pretty easy peel off now. It is a long pit lane. So you're going to spend a lot of time getting down and off of there. I think the delta is somewhere, I don't want to speculate yet. I haven't seen a good true one yet. So the important thing will be to hit your marks and get in and out of your box clean, because as we've seen in these races all season, Soup, you don't want to lose any time in the pit. That could be the only chance you have to make up any ground on an opponent who's maybe kept the car out a little bit too long.
Looking at the Australian driver right now, Scott Newton, not sitting in the top 10, looking to put in that. Oh, let me correct myself. Looks like he's down there in 9th position. Good job for Scott. And as I say that, now he has fallen down into 10th spot there. Somebody nipped him. Hey, so much of these races are determined by pit stop times. Competition's so close. You got to get in and out fast. Boy, you pick up damage on these little fragile Renaults. It can double your pit stop, triple it, or really just ruin your race. How are the curves here at Monza?
Oh boy, you're really going to have to watch yourself in the chicanes, because Redifilio, Della Roja, Ascari, they have those huge yellow, what do you want to call them, road humps, or help me, Soup, I can't remember. They're annoying, they're yellow, and they're really big, and if you hit them, they'll literally throw the car all the way in the air. You can get upside down, you can wreck the car terribly. That's going to be the big problem. The actual white and yellow curves, not so much, but again, if you miss your entry into one of these chicanes and you wind up running off into those, it could be the end of your race very quickly.
About a minute left in qualifying. Now, when they're done in qualifying, like any Formula One event, they grid up for a standing start. Cold tires, unlike Formula One, no warm-up lap, no tire warmer. So what's the track temperature like? Both, how's that going to relate to the start and this traction in general?
Yeah, Soup, it's a hot one out here today. It really is, buddy. It's right now 38 degrees Celsius on track. It's about 100 degrees Fahrenheit. 25 degrees outside, not too bad. It's clear, okay, and sunny. But what does that mean for the track? Well, it's going to be hot. It's going to get a little greasy out there. I think the real thing we're going to have to watch out for and guard ourselves against here on this opening lap is the trip down to the first chicane, Retafilio. That's going to be a big deal. We're going to have everybody down there at once, Soup. It's very tight. It's very narrow. It's a quick right, a quick back to the left, and no space to really get that done in there. So don't be shocked if you see one or two cars take that safety road out off to the left to get through there to avoid any carnage.
And qualifying is done right now, so we can go ahead and get you the grid right now. Let's bring that up, and it looks like sitting on the pole, it is the man we expected to be there. It's Peter Berriman. In the second position, though, Josh Thompson. Sean?
Jean-Francois Godin in third and Christian Koch in fourth.
Manuel Hoyer filling up row 3, and he's going to be outside of Kerry Nolden.
Okay, and Christoph Holstein in seventh, Evan Imre, eighth.
Last row on the overlay there is Patrick Kessler and Scott Newton from Australia.
In 11th, Daniel Morris Christian to catch in 12th.
Jurende Cortel in the Baker's Dozen spot, Phil Reed outside of him.
15th, Enric Andre, and 16th, Knut Martinsen.
17th and 18th is going to be Jonas Vastamaki, who had a great race last time out, and Lauren Suddenstrike Derike.
And the Milkman starting 19th, Andy Cowie, and 20th going to go to Odd Jonas Willman.
Lee Robinson and the Little Bird Sarah Dove in 21 and 22.
23rd, Alexander Waldo. 24th, Erka Lindström.
And the last two drivers out there, Silvio Hurt put in a qualifying time of 1:50, and Bruno Dometer did not even put in a practice time. I think we're only going to have 25 guys grid up right now, with the last car being Silvio Hurt. It is the final round of Season 6. We have two events on tap today. The 40 minutes feature race coming up, and then the 25-minute sprint that will immediately follow. They'll invert all the cars on the lead lap for that sprint race, but right now we're looking at the feature race that pays the big points. And on the pole is Peter Berriman. He is 4 for 4 in feature race wins. Had the elusive double last time out, scoring a whopping, 55 points total for the event. Too short of perfection. The engines begin to harmonize right now. It has been a great season. Gather up the chickens, take cover behind the cows, because the horses are out of the barn, and it is Peter Berriman leading them into the first corner. First chicane, I should say. Thompson drops. Oh, so Josh Thompson trying to peek to the outside there. They are 3 wide back behind. They get that sorted out.
Cars at the back all over the place here, Sue.
Boy, one of them is Cortwell gets off, but we'll come back and get that one. Some other drivers off in the grass. Drometer was one of them. Actually, Sean, it looks like, we look at it, looked like it could have been worse, but up front, things remain pretty calm as it is Thompson chasing Berriman right now. Third position is Godin, Koch, and Nolden. Round out your top 5. Making a move on the, look at that move there that was made. That was Kessler in 8th position, getting around Emmerich.
Yeah, Emre still digging in there on the inside. Kessler on the inside. He's going to outbreak him there into the chicane.
Fall back in. It looks like they are single file now. Starting the second 10 is Morris in 11th, Phil Reed well back in 12th position as they work their way down into Ascari for the first time. Everybody seems to get through cleanly. The front 3 drivers separating themselves. Berriman by about a half second over Thompson, doing his best to hang on to those coattails with the French-Canadian third in line. Then, farther back, look at that long shot. Here they come. That's Koch taking the defensive line. Nolden in the blue car trying to find a way around as they work through Parabolica. Back in third is Hoyer. The 4th driver back there is Holstein. We ride on board with Koch right now, looking at the chaos going on behind him. Here we go. Oh no, it's going to be 3 wide into Retafilio, and the driver on the outside has the momentum. That's Hoyer. Can he get it done? He gets 1. Now he has the preferred position here. He's going to get them both. If he can get them all powered down, Hoyer and Koch side by side. I think Koch has a little bit of a run as he edges out in front. The guy who came out worst for that one was Kerry Nolden. Now Nolden fights back in the blue car. They have time to get this sorted out before they get into Brogia. Oh my goodness, and I think they go 1, 2, 3, 4. And when it's all said and done, it is Koch, Nolden, Hoyer, Holstein, and now joining the mix is the Australian Scott Newton. Woo, Sean, that was some tough racing.
Soup, it certainly was. Watching back here, much back through the field, Patrick Kessler had trouble trying to find out why he just slowed down. Several cars, he came to almost a complete stop. See what happened on the replay here. Not really sure, but for no reason, his car just started to slow down unless I missed it. But allowed many, many positions to get by. In fact, Kessler all the way back to 22nd now. I didn't see any contact here with anything, Sue.
Boy, he lost 14 spots. He was racing in 8th. Yeah, look at that. Wait, that seems like more than a slowdown. That's oh, he stopped almost. Here we go. We're going to look at the beginning, Sean. You saw a lot of this.
Yeah, and Jerome de Cortel here in the middle is going to have trouble with braking. You see him go off there. But then behind him, there's a separate problem with Sarah Dove. She gets turned around and loses the most time out of all that. De Cortel had so much damage to his Formula Renault that he has taken that car behind the wall. Sarah Dove has already come in for a pit and repair. And you see Sarah there checking up, getting that damage. Like I said, she's taken repair and already come back out.
Honestly, we're lucky to get away with it being that small of an incident when you spin the car like that in front of a herd of cars coming your way. We look at Peter Berriman right now. Boy, he has been untouchable since he came into the series. His debut event did not go well, as he actually was scoreless in both the feature and the sprint race. But after that, it has been Katie bar the door, as he has been top point getter for all the 4 events, winning each of the feature races after his initial debut appearance. It didn't go well. And then the double that we talked about last time. He's on his way right now to another feature win, up by 1.5 seconds over Josh Thompson. Remember, Thompson doing his very best to hang on for his team, Infinity Racing. He's lost his partner, Oscar Magnan, who's been very effective, not able to close out the rest of the summer due to personal obligations in the real world. So Thompson doing it all he can. We're looking now at this battle for 4th position. This is Hoyer chasing Koch, with Nolden back there in the blue car watching the whole thing. That's your best battle right now up front.
Yeah, and Soup, they're battling behind him. Evan Emre just having a close moment there coming out of Ascari. But just behind him, and Eric Andre trying to hold off Christian Tkach right now. Tkach trying to pick up a little ground here. Andre up 4 spots already. Tkach still looking to pick one up. And then don't forget, just behind them, got Daniel Morris there, so he's lurking as well.
That Andre Tkach combination, that's one of the combinations. Let's stay on this a minute, because here comes Tkach. Oh, P4, listen to this. Here's some Hoyer making a move on the inside of Godin at the very same time that Tkach makes the pass on Andre. So action going on everywhere. Move Hoyer up into, I guess that would be 5th position as he closes that one up. Just to get back to my point, boy, look at this. Let's not give up on Hoyer. Now is working on Koch. Hoyer in the blue car. No, that's Nolden. That's Nolden working on Hoyer. There we go. Now, here we go. The blue car of Nolden makes the pass. Hoyer falls back into 6th. Trying to multitask here. Watch one eye watching one battle, one eye watching the other. Just to follow up on my point between Andre and Tkach. Sean, that's one of the combinations that the racing guards seem to put together every week. Those guys have raced side by side more than once.
Yeah, you see Daniel Morris on screen there. Just in front of them, Eric Andre just got around Christian Tkach.
Yeah.
Taking that spot from him, puts him up to P11. Andre, good pace here so far to start this race. He is up 4 spots, Sue.
Silvio Hurt back in 19th position. I don't know if we need to go there. He is our hard charger right now. Started in 26th, 25th. Racing all by himself. A lot of those positions probably picked up from attrition.
Oh, Knut Martinsen got Lawrence de Rijk in the tow. De Rijk kind of makes a move, go defensive a little bit there into Parabolica. De Rijk with a nice smooth trip through Parabolica.
This is a battle for 14th. Sudden strike out in front of Martinson and his familiar blue and yellow machine there, the Orange Viking for Force Fissy. Now we're going to go to 5th spot. This one just will not go away. Nolden in the blue car out in front of Hoyer, Newton. Holstein is now in the mix. And catching up, the 5th car in line is Phil Reed. Right on board with Holstein right now. Looking ahead at Newton. They work down through De La Rogia. Back on the throttle. Into 6 and 7. Sean, for me, 6 and 7, the Lesmo curves, these are tough for me to get.
Well, you know what? In the Formula Renault 2.0, these do get a little bit easier. They're both really 4th gear turns, so you can really get on it through there. The key to it is turning in early enough there, clipping it just right. You can get you can get some pretty good speed through there. It's not quite as unwieldy now. Look at that! Oh,
we lost him, and that is Newton. That was getting the rundown into Ascari. The car just took off on him.
He locked him up and then overcorrected. You're going to see it here. He's going to have trouble with the brakes. He's going to lock up on him there for just a second, and then it snaps on him. He got away with one there, Sue, for sure.
You know, he was lucky he was not any closer to, I guess that was Nolden he was coming up on. So he's the only one who suffered from that. We're looking at P5 right now, and here comes the pass on the inside. This is Hoyer. He gets it done for now. He makes the pass, then he moves up. Oh, he's going to open the door, and he gets it back. My gosh.
How about that?
Hoyer made the pass on the inside. Then he said now he's got it made. He's going to work his way over to the left so he can get a good entry in. And Kerry Nolden said, thank you very much. I'll break you down in there. These guys are going at it. Hoyer fighting back.
Yeah, Hoyer trying to take it back home right now.
I think this being the last race of the season, and it takes away some of the pressure. I think these guys are maybe having a little more fun. Able to loosen the belts a little bit and you know what I mean?
Tell you what, Sue, back here in pretty competitive back here, 15th on back, 16th right now. Andy Cowie Scott Newton just passed Andy Cowie for that 15th spot.
Yeah, Newton's trying to make up. He's going to be up. He's got Martinson and then that battle. Martinson coming up and then De Rijk that we were watching earlier, 13th and 14th. Newton's going to be fun to watch work his way through the field. He qualified in 10th position.
Jonas Willman, 17th, up from 20th. Alexander Waldo having a really good start to this race, Sue. He's up 5 spots, finding himself in 18th right now, chasing, closing in on Jonas Willman there.
With the exception of Vastamaki, Dometer, and Dove, who have all had issues, that's why they're so far back. 25 seconds really is the end of the cars that haven't had an issue. That's 20th position for Urka Lindstrom. I don't know, Sean, with another 28 minutes of lacing rep, I'm not sure how many cars we're going to see on the lead lap here. Lap time's a little faster than what we saw last time.
Just a little bit, Soup, and we'll be interested to see. Oh, battle here for 9th. Evan Emre, Christian Tkach. Emre going to the inside, Soup.
Tkach in the black and red and white car, they're making, well, he's actually making that pass on Emre as Emre drops back into 10th position. Now remember, Tkach was in that battle with Enric Emre, who's fallen back to 11th, so both of those guys have got around him.
Yeah, it seems like Tkach has returned to form, Soup.
Yeah.
And is now starting to make some progress here through the field. Phil Reed up next, 1.6 seconds ahead of him.
Yeah, Reed was hoping to stay on to the back of Holstein, racing in 8th. He was in 9th. He picks up that one spot that he was able to vulture when Newton went off into the sand, so he's up a spot. To catch, though, I think has the pace to run him down, 1.3 seconds. We'll keep an eye on that. And he might be able to pull along Emre with him. How about we go up and look at 5th again? This is Hoyer. This one keeps going. This is Hoyer and Nolden, and this is not one of the... Sometimes you see these guys that are in these type of battles and they're just sitting there comfortable. No, these guys are swapping every time. Look at Nolden back there kind of going, giving a little bit of the hokey doke, left and right, trying to see which way you're going to protect there for Hoyer. Thompson in P2 in the chicane, loops it around.
Yeah, big spin there out of Renifilio. He's able to recover from it, but that it doesn't look like any damage. Here it is on the replay. Looks like he just missed his entry there, possibly. Oh, he gets a little bit too much curb there. Gets a little bit too much curb there on the inside.
Him. Look at how quickly he gets that car back around and going in the right direction. And that's... Talk about taking, not making a bad problem worse. Now let's go to Reed.
Yeah, Phil.
He gets problem.
Yeah, he gets one of those curves that I talked about, Sue. The speed bump, street marker, whatever you want to call it. See, right here, he's going to catch that one on the right. It just throws the car up and across the track.
Oh, my goodness. That's insult to injury. You're already off track, and then you go for one of those things. Why are those things out there? What purpose do they serve other than to ruin your race?
All right, let's look at this battle back here for 11th. Crazy racing going on right now. Knut Martinsen being chased by Daniel Morris.
Oh! DeRuyck taking a wild run out there. Scared me a little bit.
That's going to allow Martinsen to move in on him. Going to come around the outside.
Sudden Strike taking an unusual racing line. Boy, he fights back, though, through Parabolica. Now watch the run that Martinsen will get on the outside here from the sweeping corner. Even though they're side by side, that's one way to get a run.
Pit stops. Oh, yeah. Boy, almost big trouble there for Phil Reed on the way in. Kerry Nolden's also in, Sue.
Boy, DeRuyck was coming off a Parabolica and almost got into the back of Reed, but they managed to get that negotiated out. Nolden in as well, Reed in, DeRuyck in.
Nolden is out. Coming off the pit lane now. He'll get out of there clean.
In 17th position with not really anybody in front of him, so he can race a little bit. He's got Kessler and Lindstrom ahead of him, but it'll be a while before he gets them, so he'll be able to hop lap. Remember, Nolden was up there in that battle, I think it was with Hoyer that these guys were playing around. All this going on behind Peter Berryman, who has a 6.6 second lead over Jean-Francois Godard.
Yeah, I don't think Peter Berryman cares about anyone behind him at this point, Sue. I think he's seen his relative, and right now the challenge is let's see how much faster I can be every lap around the track. And right now he keeps setting the fastest laps of the race every time he comes around.
I think he's got his eyes set on Urka Lindstrom and Alexander Valdo, the guys who are at the tail end of the lead lap. They're racing in 18th and 19th. There are some other drivers still on the lead lap. Hurt, Dometer, Dove, and Vastamaki.
Yeah, and they're all getting out of Renifilio right now.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's your reference point.
The leaders of all the cars who have pitted, we'll have to keep an eye on this one. It's Kerry Nolden. He's, like Sean said, I think came out in 17th spot. Yeah.
Yeah, and Sue, Phil Reed came in with him. Phil is a full 13.5 seconds behind Kerry Nolden. So Kerry having a really, really good pit stop there and gets out clean. Daniel Morris is now coming down the pit lane. So a lot of drivers deciding to come in, I don't know if it's early, but certainly, Sue, a little earlier than we've seen recently.
And some interesting, now we have some mixed battles going on, a little bit of mixed berries back there in the back with cars a lap down, cars who've made their stop. Kerry Nolden now up to 16th position. Daniel Morris comes out ahead of Reed. Remember, Reed had that spin, as did Morris. Up to 13th position. This is a good one. What are you looking at?
It is. It's Waldo. He's being passed by now, trying to be passed by O'Jones Willman. Can't believe I botched that. Oh, giving him a good run here. Oh, Waldo able to hang on to it.
Yeah, now here comes, this car is a lap down. Here comes Kessler into the mix. I talked about things being shaken up a bit. This is not a battle for position. Here comes Kessler through. Now he's going to wait. And then Lindstrom back there watching the whole thing.
We got a little bit of the help in the chat on Kessler. Apparently he did suffer some damage there in the opening laps of the race. That's what caused his early pit stop suit. But he seems to be fine now. He was battling pretty good there. You see them all come down the straightaway here, being led by Alexander Waldo. Willman going to look to the inside here when they head down to Parabolica. Willman cut it off really good.
Let's see
what
if
a move by
Willman. Baldo can get a drive, though, underneath this. He gets a pretty good drive off of Parabolica. You should be able to tuck, well, if you want to tuck back in the draft, you can, but Baldo says no thank you. I guess he's happy where he is. In fact, he stays right out. If I didn't know better, I think that car was overheating, and he wanted to get some fresh air onto the radiator there. So they go down into the first chicane. Oh! That's how you do it.
Willman cooks it. Got into hot suit, missed his entry, and he's up and over those curves. And whereas he did take it slow, there's no telling whether or not he picked up some damage there on the inner tray.
Valda doing some crystal ball racing there, as if he knew trouble was ahead. No need to force the issue. Let's go to P3. Here we go. Oh, look at this, making a move now. The blue car is Thompson. He's got around Cope. Remember, Thompson was fast. He was racing in second position until he had that little loop-de-loop that he did. He's got that spot back now. Move him up to third. That's a legitimate third. Coke back to fourth.
Coke going to try and take it right back here, Soup, in the run to Parabolica. Well, maybe not. Yeah, maybe not.
In case where he knows Thompson is faster. Thompson qualified in second. Coke qualified in fourth. They were off by about 0.3 of a second. As they try to race down the guys who are out in front, they're going to try to chase down the driver in second, Jean-Francois Godin.
Yeah, and Coke really not able to pick him up too much here down the straight. They'll outbrake him a little bit here into Retifilia. But distance still about the same. Josh able to get a nice exit there and keep his distance from Christian Coke.
So with that settling down, let's go back to 14th positioning. We'll pick up this Willman and Lindstrom battle now. That's Lindstrom trailing. And he's got a run. Willman taking his half right out of the middle. Lindstrom's going to do it on the top side. Heading down into Retifilio. And I think he's going to be able to close the door. Of course, we've seen this before. Willman watching. Oh, and now coming off a pit lane, I guess this is Emre, who has been nipped by Enric Andre. These guys have both made their pit stop. So Andre now in 13th position. And that's, of course, going to be moved up a lot. These guys are actually second and third of the cars who have pitted.
And Soup, another position change just now. Kerry Nolden taking the 9th spot away from Alexander Waldo. Yeah, Waldo not even taking his pit stop yet. Nolden has taken his stop and is good to the end. So Nolden charging through the field. He was the first of those cars to come in on what we believe was a scheduled stop there, Soup.
And Nolden has, if you go back to the guy who pitted, I guess it would be Emre. He's got about 8 seconds to Emre, who is the second of all the cars who pitted. Of course, we don't need to go there. Peter Behrman, 8-second lead now as we're looking at Andre again. Oh, the pass, and Emre made the pass. But here we come right back. Emre in the, I guess it's kind of a lime-colored car, citrus flavored, covers all my bases there. Enric makes the pass, moves up into 13th.
Yeah, and the first time Emre made that move, Soup, it was back out of Lesmo 2. Took advantage of Andre making
I
a
don't
mistake.
think they're done. Here he comes.
No, not at all. Here we go.
Plenty of time before Redafilio to make the move if he wants to. Oh, he kind of just took his time there. These guys racing for... Oh my goodness, this boy Emery almost gets into the back of Andre. Top 8 cars yet to come in. Berryman, Godot, Thompson, Koch, Hoyer, Holstein, to catch, and Martinson. Looking there at our leader, 9.3 is the interval back to second place. Sean, I think the over-under of cars on the lead lap, I'm going to say a dozen. I think that's where we're going to finish here today.
I think we're going to be over that, Soup.
More cars, okay.
One. Yeah. I don't know how many over. It may not be much, but I think I'll take the over that one.
Looking at Thompson now as he's trying to pull Koch along up to Godot. That interval is about 1.5 seconds to second position. We ride looking off the back at Koch.
Christian to catch in the pit. Coming up pit road now. He's in his box.
This might be something to follow if we can pick up where Nolden is. In fact, he's rolling. Is Nolden by yet? I would think he would be.
Not yet.
Here he comes right now. This could be close. And there he goes.
Gonna get by.
The catch is going to get out in front, though, of that battle between Emery and Reed. We'll see. To catch, I'm hearing that maybe he came across the line. Is that what we're thinking? He came out onto the track early? Yeah.
He might have, Soup, he might have crossed over a little bit early. You have to pay attention to that line there. It will black flag you, and you'll have to come in for a stop and go the next time around.
I think he's okay. Would have had to serve it by now. So Nolden out in front now. Oh, it wouldn't be a slowdown. It would be a stop and go. Well, we won't know then until his next time around. It would be good news for all the drivers behind. Meanwhile, Berryman with a 10-second lead. Godot holding on to about 1.5 seconds over Thompson and Koch.
There goes Thompson. Koch gonna stay out.
So let's see, as Thompson making his way into his box, Nolden right now is, my goodness, on his way to Parabolica. Hasn't got there yet. Getting there right now. So I would really think that Thompson should be able to get in and out here pretty quick. He's in his box, and now he starts to roll. And is Nolden out onto the straight? He's coming. Nolden crosses the start-finish line. And you can see there from that great shot, you can see that Thompson's going to get out in front of him. That next car in line was Nolden.
Boy, Thompson gets out in front of him there pretty good, Soup.
Yeah.
Just about 4 seconds.
How about a tip of the hat to both our director and our camera artist for giving us the perfect angle on how to cover that shot and how to use it. Nice job, boys. It's a pleasure to work with you.
Your top 6, Soup, still on track, thinking about those pit stops coming in with 13.5 minutes left.
"22 drivers still on the lead lap with 13 minutes of racing to go. Might be a tall order to get to 12th position there if you're the leader. That would be Phil Reed right now. He's probably pretty safe there. All right, the leader is in.
Yes, he is.
Let's see if Godot... Oh, Godot has to come in as well. Berryman... Oh, Godot spins it! noses it into the wall on pit entry, getting around him. That was Coke. A nice replay might be from Coke's car on this one.
Boy, it was almost curtains for Coke also. Jeez.
First we'll watch. Now we're going to go on board. Let's go on board with the French Canadian. Sean, the car just bites on him. What happens there?
It does. Soup, it could be his brake bias got the best of him. Maybe he needed an adjustment there.
Now we go on the top, above the helmet of Coke. Like it wanted to swap ends. He was going straight in it. And look at this. Just enough room to get by.
I mean, that was almost church for Coke there.
It would have been for Coke, and it would have been everybody else who was coming in as well, because they were all coming into pit. It would have been a traffic jam at the pit lane. All right, so that is all settled out. So take Godin out of the mix now. That puts Berryman up 12 seconds ahead of Coke. Question is, where did Nolden file out of all of that? Nolden comes out in third, ahead of Hoyer. So Nolden made that early stop, went out there, ran some hot laps. He comes out in third. He's about 3 seconds behind Thompson.
Oh boy, Soup. Oh, Andy Cowie with big trouble there. Out of the De La Rosa. He was right in front of Scott Newton.
Here's the replay, Sean. What do you see?
Just gets a little bit of the dirt coming off. Cowie, you'll see him on the exit here. He's going to get a little wide out to the left, and the car's going to snap on him. Right in front of Newton. Newton able to get around, get up to 12th.
And we have Villeman has spun as well. That looked like it was in De La Rosa.
Yeah, more trouble in De La Rosa there. He's able to spin it by himself and get it spun around and going again. Fortunate moment there, an unfortunate moment that he's able to turn around and get out of it without any damage. So good job there by Ode.
Positions 1 and 2 are pretty separated. The real best battle on the track. Look here at 11th. This is Morris in a nice battle. Morris making a move. That is, or actually coming up behind him, that's Newton. So let's talk about the 4 cars here. You got the blue and yellow car of Martinson out in front, Morris and Newton close together, with Cowie right behind him. Yeah, our director has noticed something, and I've noticed it too, and that is that Berryman is doing a lot of blinking.
Okay, Soup, Kerry Nolden under attack here from Manuel Hoyer as they head down into... I'm sorry, where are they at? I lost them on track.
Oh, it looks like just around the Lesmos there. Now they're coming down into Ascari. That's okay. It is a close battle, though. Nolden coming up. This is Hoyer now. As they come down into Ascari, this is a great little, like a double chicane here. A left, right, left combination. That sends you back out now to Parabolica. Boy, the blue car of Nolden really negotiated that one well. Hoyer lost a lot of time.
Yeah, and Ascari, one of those areas of this track that really, really tough to get right. Boy, when you get it right, it's magnificently fast in this car, but if you get it wrong, you're sliding all over the place and possibly off track. Nolden able to get the power down here, though, in front of Hoyer out of Parabolica. And Nolden is going to hang on to that podium spot for now.
I think for now. Let's come away from that one. This is going to be fun. Let's go to 10th position as they go around Parabolica. This is Martinson, Morris. Oh,
hang on, Sue.
Oh, look at this we're looking at here. Oh, I thought it was over, but it's not. Look at that.
Hoyer tried to pressure him in a mistake. He's real close to doing it, Nolden.
I apologize for that one. I thought that one was done, and then I looked away, and all of a sudden it was right back. Now Holstein is in the mist, back there in 5th. There is another good battle back in 10th, but let's stay on this one for a while. This one's good and is a little farther up front.
Soup, kind of like Raymond Burr and Paul Masson wine. We will leave no battle until it's done.
No, before it's time. Well, we are in wine country here. Nolden in third, Hoyer in fourth. The dark blue car in the back, that is Holstein. Now keep an eye on Hoyer. He doesn't negotiate Ascari as well as I thought he really should. He lost a lot of time to Nolden last time through. Let's see what kind of run Holstein can have in the back here if he can make up some ground.
Yeah, I think Hoyer gets a lot better run at it that time. He wasn't near as close to Nolden as he was the last time. In fact, here he gets the run in him now as they head up to Parabolica. Good stuff here. Here comes Hoyer.
Oh, this is good. This is going to be good coming out of here because I think this could be a 3 wide as they come down into Retafilio coming around. Let's see how, oh no, we lose one of them as the dark blue car of Holstein goes really wide, so he's not going to be in the mix. But look at the run that Hoyer has now. Nolden takes the defensive line on the right-hand side. He's going to make Hoyer do it up top now. He's got a car length. He's there. He can close the door if he wants. We've seen this before, though, where Nolden feels really good breaking into this corner, but they settle it down. They go through 1, 2, 3. Plenty of time with 6.5 minutes of racing left.
Boy, great move there by Hoyer, but Soup, as we've already seen, this battle is far from over. Kerry Nolden, Christoph Holstein would love to have that podium spot, and they're going to have plenty of chances to get it here still with about 3.5 laps left.
Okay, now let's go back to 10th position. Newton has got around Martinson. I think the excitement just happened down the straight there as he's made that pass. Martinson's dropped back into 11th. But here comes Morris, here comes Cowie, and DeRike is back there in 14th. So we'll keep an eye on that to go with just under 6 minutes of racing left. Fighting to get inside the top 10, right now held by Scott Newton. We're looking there at 12th position. Now let's go back up to the other battle. Here it is.
Nolden takes the inside into his...
Oh!
And Hoyer crosses it back over. And here comes Holstein.
Yep.
Gets around Nolden.
We got there just in time. You saw Nolden make the pass, but he couldn't hold, and then he gives it up to Hoyer. And now Holstein moves up into 4th. Nolden back to 5th.
It's just absolutely cringeworthy, my friend. Cringeworthy.
Now let's stay on this because let's see what type of run Holstein can get from the middle there. He's about 2 car lengths back. Might be a little far. He's closing. He's about 1 car length back. Hoyer starting to creep into the middle. Now they're side by side. They're going to be side by side into the chicane. This is good news for Nolden back there watching the whole thing. They continue to be 2 by 2. And now let's move Holstein up into the top spot.
Yes. Boy, that took a while for him to pull off, but he does, Sue. Wow. Battle for 10th. Knut Martinson trying to hold off Scott Newton here.
This is fun. We got 2 good battles going on. Martinson now is back out in front of Newton. Oop! But he's going to lose that spot on a mistake. And that's going to give Morris a chance to get into the mix as well, back there in 12th.
And Hoyer just took back the position from Holstein up front, Soup. Crazy stuff. We're driving our director nuts.
Let's stay on this one here. This one going on right now. The real battle looks like Nolden looking for ways. They come down into the scar. Nolden's going to get to the inside. And I think Holstein says, let's get this sorted out before we get there so we don't lose time. He gives Nolden the spot. Look at the run that Nolden gets through here, though. I think this is Hoyer's Achilles heel. He doesn't get a good run this time. Oh, I think Nolden is in good position. He can get him wherever he wants. He can try to do it before Parabolica, or he can try to do it after Parabolica. He's going to wait. There's nowhere to run, Sean. I mean, there's just no defense here, is there?
Not really. No, there isn't, Sue. Yeah, you can make that defensive move once or twice, but generally you've got to make it more than that. That may wind up costing you more time than it's worth. Nolden getting the strong run here across the start-finish line, though. Looks to the inside.
As he makes the pass down into Relafili. What's interesting to note, though, is I don't know if you can make that pass before the start-finish line, so I'm not sure coming out of Parabolica to get the position. That's a doable strategy. Oh, here now. He's going to get him before they get to the next chicane.
We're setting him up. He's going for that position there to the inside, to the left of the track here to set up for De La Rosia here.
Oh, these guys are playing a game of Russian roulette, and it's not going to be long till the barrel comes up loaded. There we go.
Hoyer makes that little bit of contact there with the rear end of Nolan. Going to get by Nolan here. Don't give up on Holstein here.
We really need to see if we can bring Holstein into the booth and have him commentate. He's got the best view of everybody right now watching this one. Here comes another chicane. Here comes another pass for an attempt to pass. Nolan's going to wait. 2 minutes to race. Oh, this is too much fun. Holstein now in a position.
And our leader, Peter Perryman, comes across for the white flag here, Sue. Josh Thompson chasing behind him, but the battle we continue to focus on. Manuel Hoyer is still holding off Kerry Nolden out of Parabolica right now. Here comes Christoph Holstein.
And, you know, Newton has had a spin. We can go there real quick. Remember, we were watching that battle. You can just look at it. We'll have time to catch it.
Yeah, big trouble. Out of Ascari there for Newton. He's going to find that grass off to the right, or the turf, if you will. And it doesn't end well for him. Boy, what a tough break for Newton.
44 minutes of 45 minutes. You got to do the whole thing. Berryman working his way down in now into the Lesmos. Let's go ahead and check back in on third position. Here comes a run. And that's going to be the red and white machine. That's Hoyer gets in there. I guess it's black and white. There's no red in there. Up! Nolan fighting back.
Were you surprised? What a battle these guys are giving us.
I think if you can lead out of Parabolica, I think you're going to have enough time to hold it. Meanwhile, our leader now just working his way through Ascari. He's just got turn 11 to go. Sean, we got to figure out a new way to... I'm kind of glad the season is ending because I'm running out of original ways to call Peter Berryman as the winner as he works his way around Parabolica. This will be 5 feature races in a row for the Englishman. The final round here, the feature race goes to Peter Berryman. Thompson's going to get second. Let's drop back to Hoyer.
Soup. Hoyer gets by Nolden back at Ascari. Now it's Nolden trying to pick him up, coming down to Parabolica for this last turn run. But Hoyer gets in there first, going to leave the bottom.
Oh, he goes wide.
He's up wide left.
That's the only way I think that he can have a chance, but I think he has enough momentum. I think he's going to be able to hold him off. Hoyer's going to get third. Nolden fourth. Holstein fifth. Let's go back and look at the battle for 8th position. This is Reed. He's going to come across in front of Emirates. They go 8th and 9th. Now let's go to Morris. Morris making a run on Martinson. I don't think he's going to get there. Martinson gets a 10th position. Morris gets 11th. Now let's go way back to 18th. Silvio Hurt. Don't know if Bruno Domitor's going to be able to get to him.
He's going to have to really break late, Soup.
Let's stay on this because we haven't given Silvio or Bruno much attention. Let's go ahead and stay with them as they just have one corner to go. Well, I thought that our leader would get up to 12th position. Not going to happen. It looks like we're going to have 20 cars on the lead lap. The last one being in Jonas Vastamaki back there in 20th. Boy, Sean, as we look at the battle for 18th, what a difference a week makes. Now remember, Vastamaki, he was a force to be reckoned with when we were at COTA. Today, he's just having trouble. Lucky to be there at all.
Yep, and Silvio Hurt going to come across, Soup, take that 18th spot. Bruno Domitor going to finish 19th. And then, of course, we already said Jonas Vastamaki.
Yeah.
They're going to take that 20th spot as he creeps across the line there.
Okay, Sean, for the final time this season, I'm going to ask you this question. Tell me why the break between the races is the best part of the doubleheader format?
Soup.
You don't remember, do you? Because you don't
Soup,
have your script there, yeah?
No, Soup. I can tell you why, because it's the perfect blend of a post-race high and the pre-race jitters.
Folks, I think I caught him by surprise on that one, but I'm not catching you by surprise, as you know it's break time right now. So we're going to take a short break, but we'll be back between the two events to run down the final standings, talk to some of the drivers, and then, of course, get you all set up for the 25-minute sprint that will be following here in just a few minutes. Back in a few. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault 2.0 Championship, Round 12 from Monza. And now it's time to run down the finishing order of the feature race that we just saw here on the GSRC. Well, I'll just say it. There's really only some ways I can color this. 22nd win for Peter Berriman, his 5th feature race in a row. Josh Thompson, kind of best in class as he comes home second, about 4 seconds ahead of the battle of the race. Manuel Hoyer, Kerry Nolden, and Christoph Holstein. It just happened that the race ended when they were in that order. If we went around one more lap, it probably would have been all switched up. Christian Deketch and Christian Koch come in 6th and 7th. Koch, your champion. Phil Reed in 8th position. Evan Emre was in a nice battle with Knut Martinsen. Emre gets the best of that in 9th, Martinsen in 10th. Sean?
11th, going to go to Daniel Morris. 12th, Sudden Strike Direct. Lawrence Direct, 12th today. Andy, the Milkman Cowie, 13th. Alexander Waldo, 14th. Urka Lindstrom, 15th. Scott Newton, struggles to a 16th place finish today. 17th, Jonas Willman, 18th. Silvio Hurt up 7 spots to finish 18th today. Bruno Dometer also up 7 spots. He'll finish 19th. And Yunus Vastamaki, the last car on the lead lap and our pole sitter for the sprint race.
And as Sean went through those last ones, usually when you look at those drivers that are at the very end, you can pick out the hot shoe, the fast driver that had problems finished in the back. I don't see one. Vastamaki, Dometer, Hurt, Villman. Maybe you get to Scott Newton, but he only qualified 10th, so it's going to be a little harder to pick a wire-to-wire winner this time. Let's wrap out the rest of the field. Sarah Dove, Kessler, Godin, Andre, Robinson, and Quartel, 21 through 26. Okay, there you have it, Sean. I'm excited. We have an interview in here. I think we do. Go ahead, Sean.
Super do. Yeah, we've caught up with Sarah Dove. Hey, listen, saw in the chat you said you'd cooked the brakes there on the start. What exactly happened?
I don't really know. In the practice, everything was fine, and then going onto the grid, I'd like done something. I'd hit like one of the pedals with my foot, and it must have like unlatched itself because it's like on the floor. And then when I went to brake for the first corner, the pedals just moved away from me and almost fell off the chair.
Oh, jeez.
It didn't go very well.
It didn't. That's a horrible start to your race. So, all right, you get a second chance here. Now, obviously, you'll have to start in the back of the field, but let's face it, you're going to have some pretty fast drivers right in front of you. Is that your hope to get to the front in the sprint?
I hope so. Maybe I can slipstream past some people. Also, it would be helpful if a lot of people crashed. That'd be great.
Go ahead, Sue.
Oh, I have been there. I can relate. It sounds so horrible what she just said, but I can so relate to that. She's back there, Sarah. You're back there. You got some guys around you, though. Kessler behind you, Godin, and Andre, who had incidents. How do you, Sarah, just overall, how do you feel you're racing? I've been watching you for 3 seasons now. While you may not have the results this season, boy, it seems like you're more competitive on the track, though, than when we first started watching you. Don't you feel that way?
Definitely, yeah. I feel I'm more competitive now.
Yeah.
I just haven't really had the season that I'd wanted, where my consistency isn't at the level of my speed. So it's a bit...
No, I understand. Yeah, I don't think the results have really shown how the pace that you've had. Well, good luck. See if you can get yourself. Let's see, you're going to start in 21st. Let's see if we can get ourselves maybe a top 10 today if there's enough attrition. How's that sound?
That would be great. It would be a great result to round off.
All right, Sarah Dove, good luck to her. Always fun. Sean, we talked about it before we was. She's just. I don't mean to relate to her gender, but she just overall is just a sweet person. You know what I mean? She's fun to talk to.
Yeah. We were talking about the fact that I just picture like a little 95-pound frail little young lady, in almost a fetal-like position behind the keyboard when she talks. It doesn't help that, as we said, also. It doesn't sound like she's got the best mic in the world either.
No,
it's probably what's killing her to begin with. So, no, it's always fun watching her drive. I hate that she had the brake problem there to start the race. Like you said, we've all been there. But you know what? I certainly like the theory of, hey, you're starting behind some of the fastest guys here. Why don't you kind of use them as the proverbial wedge? You remember the old wedge play, Soup? The old football wedge play? Just get in behind the wedge and run, baby, run.
Yeah, use those guys as blockers. Certainly, they're going to open up some holes for her. So, yeah, if she can hang on to the back of them, certainly a possibility. Well, we have 25 minutes left in the Season 6 schedule. Boy, Sean, when you race every week like this, boy, the season goes by fast.
It really does. I honestly caught me a little off guard, kind of like sending it to break there, Soup, that we were here at round 12 today. And, I'd love to get next season started, but we got to get through this one first, buddy.
Well, I guess what we will do right now, so get that session going up. We'll take a short break here on the Global Sim Racing channel, since Sans thought it was a good thing to do. We'll take a short break, get our ducks in a row, then we'll come back and give you the final 25 minutes of Season 6 here in the Apex Online Racing's Formula 2.0 Championship. Don't go far, we'll be back. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault 2.0 Championship Round 12, the final round of Season 6, the third one that we've covered here on the Global Sim Racing Channel, and of course, we are at Monza. Now, Sean, we've ran down the finishing order of the feature race, so that brings us to the 25-minute sprint race coming up. Walk us through the details here.
The sprint race, yes sir, 25 minutes. No, you don't need a pit stop in this one. In fact, if you're stopping the pit, then you've lost any chance of winning it. The grid will be set by the cars that finished on the lead lap in the last race. We'll reverse that. Winner back to 20th, and the winner will be starting in 20th, and everybody that did not finish on the lead lap will be just behind them. Now, we did say it was a 16 X limited on the incidents in the last race. That was never a factor. Well, it's going to be a little less here, 12. I still don't think that'll be a factor. Now, the point value, it only pays the top 16, about 2/3 the value of the points here in this sprint race, as it always is here on Friday evenings.
Yeah, the incidents really weren't that big of an issue. Not nearly what we saw last time at COTA, where guys were blinking away to Rod Serling land left and right, but I think we're going to be probably okay here. I guess the nature of the track, huh, Sean?
Yeah, and the runoff areas are a little bit more, in fact, a lot more generous here than they are at COTA. One of those spots being out of Lesmo 2, turn 7. There is a significant amount of runoff there that you can use on that right-hander out off to the left when you run the car out, and it's honestly a great way to get yourself back down that straightaway down the hill is running it out and staying right there on the left, almost to the edge of the curbing. Again, a really a good spot to watch, as you will see cars pretty much use up just as much of that as they legally can.
Now, I know, Sean, last week we talked about page 17 in the GSRC's commentator handbook that says know your audience, and I talked about going in and researching, so I had some references here that would play to our Scandinavian group here, and of course the Netherlands crowd here. And I guess maybe Ivar the Boneless, maybe not the most friendly reference to have. I didn't realize that one. Kind of.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen, definitely a very important figure. And if you ever want to tell your kids bedtime stories that'll keep them up for weeks, stories of Ivar the Boneless would certainly work.
I did not realize. So I'm going to scrap that. I'm going to go with, I don't think I can go wrong with Hans Christian Andersen. See, that seems much more friendly. Of course, the inchworm, and all the great.
Yeah, I'd say we're a little safer there, huh? A little safer with Mr. Anderson there. Of course, the Danish author, prolific writer of plays and novels and such.
I figured that Ivar was boneless. How dangerous could he be? But no,
he was pretty heartless. Too.
Yeah, my gosh. So live and learn. For all you commentators out there, if you're going to do your research, just make sure you do a little deeper than what Soup did there. So we have about a minute and 10 seconds left of practice. There is no warm-up time here, so they're just out there because the grid, like we said, is set not from qualifying, but from what happened in the feature race. Josh Thompson. Now, I want to make sure that because of the blinking, that Berryman actually makes it into the event, and so far, there he is.
Yeah,
he just hasn't put a lap in yet.
Yeah, his connection was a little spotty. Unfortunately, it was never a factor for him.
And if I remember right, I think that's one of the issues that he had in his very first debut. He had a bad feature race when he came in, but then when he was coming back to the sprint race, if memory serves, it was not a matter of him making a mistake. It was just he blinked away. And so right now, he's yet to come out on the track, but since he's there, that's a good sign. Sean, you got to give a tip of the hat to the attendance here. Even though it's summertime, still a pretty good field as the end of the race, end of the season, about 25, good number.
Yeah, Soup, and honestly, attendance throughout the season should be commended. I mean, we've always had, to my recollection, we've always had at least 24 on the grid. So, very well-attended series, and always fun getting to these. This is one of the highlights of my day on Friday, man.
It is. For us in the States over here, it's Friday noon for me on the west coast of the United States. A little later, about early afternoon for Sean over in New York. Jonas Vastamaki and Bruno Dometer on the front row, Sean.
Row 2, Silvio Hurt and Jonas Willman.
Scott Newton in row 5, almost called Scott Cookie. Urka Lindstrom in the 6th position.
Row 4, Alexander, Waldo, and Andy the Milkman Cowie.
Okay, the last row is Lawrence Sudden Strike to Reich and Daniel Morris. Next, graphic.
All right, row 6, Knut Martinson and Evan Imre.
Former champ Phil Reed back in the Baker's Dozen spot inside of Christian Koch, another champion.
Row 8, Christian Tkech and Christoph Holstein.
Kerry Nolden and Manuel Hoyer, 17th and 18th.
Row 10, Josh Thompson and our winner from the feature race, Peter Barron.
And he's out there. Our mid-race interview, Sarah Dove in the blackjack position, Patrick Kessler in 22nd. Sean, wrap them up.
Yes, sir. And then John Francisco to 23rd, Lee Robinson 24th, Jeroen Cortel 24th. There we go, Soup. Go, 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 go.
Gather up those chickens, take cover behind the cows for the last time this season. Take cover behind the cows because the horses are out of the barn. Vastamaki leads them down into the first chicane. Dometer, Newton, Billman, and Lindstrom. Lindstrom has a cornerable exit. He's going to lose that spot. No, that was Cowie who was slow. Nope, that was Valdo who was slow as he drops back into 7th. Cowie now making a move on Lindstrom per 5th.
Soup, everybody made it through the first chicane, but man, getting through Corte Grande is a real issue. 3 wide there for a moment. Christian Koch got pushed all the way out to the dirt, and they scrambled down here into the chicane.
So far through De La Rogia, they are okay as they all make it. Sean, how's Little Bird doing? Is she able to follow any of those guys through?
She's right behind Jean-Francois Godin.
Okay. That's the strategy. Meanwhile, we are clean so far up in front. Single file all the way through. Now let's see if they can get through Ascari. If they can get through Ascari, we got a chance of being clean the whole first lap. First one through is Vastamaki. Dometer, Billman gets through as well. They are 2 by 2. Lindstrom makes the move on Sudden Strike to Reich. Looks like they're all making it.
Wow.
Holy smokes.
3 wide down the straight, heading to Parabolica.
Oh, I'm going to be frustrated if that's the one that gets us after going through 3 chicanes. If the simple right-hand swooping corner of Parabolica is the one that gets us. But we are okay. Everybody through. Knock on imitation wood. We are clean through lap number 1.
And Peter Berriman picks up 4 spots, Soup up to 16th, coming across the line.
It's fit. You got to go look at this. It's a pinata full of bees back here. They're coming at you. This isn't going to work. They're 3 wide. We lose 1, but that's not so bad. So far, everybody gets through the second time around. Not sure who it was who went off there, but I don't think it was the worst case scenario. So far, we're okay.
It was Phil Reed, actually, Soup, that got knocked out of place there. But, man, what in the wide world of sports is going on here? Jeez, actually, Phil Reed suffering heavy damage from going over that curb.
Yeah,
he is way off pace.
Pass for the lead up here. Vastamaki was able to get around Dometer. So move Jonas up into the first position. Remember, he was really good at Coda. Villman in 3rd, Cowie in 4th. The guy that I thought was going to be good was Newton, but he's... Did I miss him? Newton has dropped out.
Yeah.
Well, meanwhile, let's go back to 11th position. This is getting ugly. The blue car is Holstein. That's Lindstrom in the mix as they go beneath the underpass. Nolden out there. Nolden gets that late braking in. They manage.
Soup, a hornet's nest, pinata full of bees. Peter Berriman's in the middle of it right now, passing Urka Lindstrom here, heading to Parabolica. What's going on behind them, though?
Oh.
Absolutely crazy. Hoyer, Thompson, Christian Koch all battling for the same real estate.
Oh, getting loose. That's the light blue car. How did he not get into Lindstrom? The light blue car of Thompson. Oh!
And here's Hoyer right next to him as they now head to the line.
Lindstrom dropping like a pigeon. Meanwhile, Kessler now up into 16th position. They are 3 wide behind him. Vostamaki's had an issue from the lead.
Uh-oh, yeah. Vostamaki makes contact with Bruno Dometer down in the chicane.
Boy, I'm going to make a call. Dometer was into the chicane first. Boy, that's all Vostamaki. I'm sorry about that. But Dometer can't make the car invisible. It has to take up some position on the track.
Yeah, boy, Soup, that's a close one to call. They were fighting really, really hard down there, buddy. Boy, Holstein, Thompson, Hoyer, this battle, these 5 cars back here are killing me right now. Waldo at the front of this, trying to hold them all off. The hounds are at the gate, man.
They are indeed. As we ride on board with Manuel Hoyer right now in 15th position. He has not made up a lot of ground. Sean, once again, these guys try as they might to stay with Berryman. He manages to get through. Berryman's long gone. Hoyer's still stuck. Look at this. This is some... Gotta love the AOR and these sprint races. Coming at you. Fine, pick a lane, boys. 3 wide.
Jeez.
Can they make it work again? Oh, they're doing a good
Can he
job.
save it? Can he save it? No. That's a mess. That's a mess. Waldo gets it. Boy, Soup. That's a shame there.
You can only do it so many times. It looks like the dark blue car got loose first. And then Waldo ends up in the wall.
Yeah, it was Holstein.
Was that Holstein?
The purple car there to the left. You're going to see him start to break loose after a little bit of contact there from Waldo, and then everybody gets around, and Hoyer right in the middle of that. What a shame. Hoyer was really making a good charge towards the front, and now it's all ended for him in tears.
Well, I guess that's kind of what our mid-race interview was talking about. More positions for Sarah Dove, right?
Yes, indeed. Now, Dometer leading this race. Let's talk about last race winner, Peter Berryman, now up to 11th, Soup. The next battle in front of him is this one we've seen going on between Nolden, Tkach, Morris, Vostamaki, and Imre. That's his next grouping to get through.
We look at that right now. Josh Thompson coming over saying something. I think he said, "Do I have some wing damage?" is what he was asking. In fact, Thompson, who was behind Berryman now, is stuck in. Phil Reed says,
Soup, I did get an update on Scott Newton. He lost his power, unfortunately.
We got to look at this. We're looking at it right now. This battle for 13th. We got to go there. I just got a really bad feeling. This is Thompson. Reed ahead of them. I think they're talking to each other. They say we both have wing damage. Reed going really, really wide. Thompson in the blue car. Here comes Godin underneath. And when we get this settled down, then I want to jump up front because we got to talk about this. But watch out here. Oh, he's going to decide to go to the outside. I thought he was going to squeeze in the middle. On the top side, that is Thompson. Well, here they come. They got to figure this out. They go through. They manage it as they work their way through Rettifilio. All right, now we got to go to P2. This is Villman. Cowie has been coming. And he's not in a hurry because De Rijk is back there in 4th. Cowie gets loose back in 3rd. He's able to save it up. Villman racing in 2nd. He's about 1.5 seconds to the lead. Sean, if you're faster, like Cowie, you cannot afford to wait because you know the guy that's back there is Berryman.
Yeah, he's on the way. Yeah. He's on the way very quickly.
Here comes Cowie. They're going to try to get this done through Ascari, and I think actually nice job as Villman just kind of gives him that position. So move Cowie up into 2nd. Villman back in third, and now DeReick back there in fourth.
Yeah, Berryman's up to 10th, Soup. He just got by Kerry Nolan. He's got more in front of him to knock down as he heads down the back straight to Parabolica.
It's only 7.1 seconds from the leader back to Berryman in 10th position. 7 seconds with 15 minutes of racing to go.
I'm starting not to like their chances, Soup.
Yeah. The only thing that is in Dominator's favor is there are 8 cars between him and the guy who's coming, so the harder fight that Cowie, Vilman, DeReick, Martinson, Emre, Vastamaki can put up, the better. Let's go back to second position right now. This is Vilman. I think he's going to get past. Yep, Cowie. No, Cowie able to hang on there. Vilman was making the move. Cowie hanging on to second. DeReick in there as well. Boy, this is a good battle for second.
Ooh, Vastamaki back here. Sorry, Soup. Vastamaki back here trying to make a move on Evan Imre.
Well, let's go to Urka Lindstrom. He's on his hood. Just happened, I think, directly.
Oh, it sure did. Going down into the first turn, chicane.
I think he had a Sarah Dove incident here. I think the brakes didn't work for him. Where's he going? Ow!
Yeah, he missed that entry altogether. I think it was Sarah Dove that was actually slowing down there in front of him.
Lindstrom, his comment, oh my. Okay, how about third position? This is Vilman being challenged by DeReick. DeReick is going to get that done quickly. Can he woe it up in time? Yes, he does. Moves sudden strike up into third. Martinson in fifth. Vastamaki started on the pole, is back in sixth. Look at that. I love that shot. Those long lenses where they come at you, man, that's a good looking shot. We're looking at Martinson, the Orange Viking, putting it out on the AstroTurf.
Soup. Peter Berryman, 9th now. Still chasing Imre to catch up in front of him, fighting very, very hard. It's a back and forth deal. Imre just got back by to catch again. They keep doing this. Look at this log jam up in front of them. It is incredible how close all these cars still are here. Halfway into this race. Nobody's really spread out back here.
No, Cowie has about a second lead, and then the mess happens. That's DeReick for third position. Here comes Vilman back on DeReick. So watching the whole thing, then you get to Martinson back there, just ahead of Vastamaki. Emre and Berryman now has got in the mix. He's brought Nolden with him.
That's going to be really interesting watching Berryman try and navigate his way through this. This is an awful lot of traffic. It's an awful lot of very, very competitive traffic.
Right, exactly.
That is all battling for a position right now.
It's not like he can pick them off one at a time because he's going to find them when they're two abreast in front of him. Another thing you got to be careful in this situation is to check your mirrors when you pull out to make a pass. That's something I forget to do all the time. You set the guy up in front of you, you're ready, and you make the pass, and you don't realize that somebody like Peter Berryman, meanwhile, has moved alongside of you. Berryman back there right now. It's Emre in the yellow car. Berryman's going to take his time. They are lined up nose to tail. Now, up in front, that's Martinson, and they're 2x2. Martinson in a battle with Vastamaki. Vastamaki on the inside, so they go down the main straight. This is going to put a huge hole in the air for to catch. Here comes everybody. Emre, Berryman, they're all a-coming. 3 wide up front. The guy in the middle dropping out. That is Vastamaki. First to the chicane is Martinson. He makes it. On the outside is Teketch. Vastamaki in there as well. Emre able to negotiate it. Berryman now is being challenged. Here comes Nolden now. Nolden wants to get a spot. He has a little bit of a tow from Emre in front. I think Nolden's got a chance to get around Berryman as they head down. He's going to be on the outside as they get to De La Rogia.
And the Bruno Dometer fans are up off their
Loving
seats and cheering right now.
And sure enough, Nolden was able to get that position. Berryman wants it back, and that has brought back in your points leader, Christian Koch. Koch almost gets into the back of Nolden. He gets off him. Actually, I think it may give Nolden a little bit of a boost. Nolden gives a little bit of a love tap. Hello to Berriman. The big names cannot get through, Sean.
No, sir. No, sir. This is fun. Wow. This is the way the final round should be. Ooh, Coke getting right there to the inside of oh man, and Nolan gonna able to, it gives him this position.
There we go, up in front now. Let's look at this. Is Embry now making a move on the yellow car? Or that's Embry. No, Embry gets passed by Berriman. So Berriman up into 8th. You know, I talked about Hans Christian Andersen. It's Denmark where the little boy puts his finger in the dike. That's what I remember my mom telling me about. And right now, that's what's happening right now for our leader, Bruno Dometer. He wants somebody to hold back the tide that is Peter Berriman.
So far, so good, Sue. So far, so good.
Berriman has able to get Emre, but that's it. What's going on up front? Well, it's Dometer up by 2.2 seconds over Cowie. Cowie has 1 second back to De Rijk. De Rijk with 1 second back to the mess. Let's go to 4th position. This is Vilman and Tkach. Tkach is a real threat to win this thing. He's probably the best talented driver up front, and Tkach is going to get that pass made, move him up to 4th. Vilman drops back to 5th. Berriman now has got Vastamaki, Sean, so now he's up to 7th. Next on the hit list is the Orange Viking, Kmart.
Boy, that's going to be a tough pass. I just got a feeling that's going to be a tough pass. He's got to get through 3 Scandinavians here to get to the podium. This is going to be a tall order for Mr. Berriman.
Right on board with the guy who has been dominating this series. Oh, let's drop back. Vastamaki almost gets into it with Emre. They interlocked wheels. How did that not go south?
You're just going to see him getting into Ascari here, side by side. And that never really works.
No.
It does that time without incident.
They just interlocked, they put it in perfectly, they were able to drive away.
So Berriman just passed, Jonas Willman and Newton Martinson, well, basically like they were just getting started on this sim in Parabolica there. And boy, he gets himself up to 5th. That's 2 Scandinavians in 1 turn and 1 Scandinavian to go just in front of him.
Dometer 2 seconds ahead of Cowie, a second ahead of De Rijk, 2 seconds ahead of Tkach. Now Tkach is coming. Berriman back there in 5th. Tkach is the defending champion. Just goes to show you the depth of talent. Your defending champion racing in 4th. The newcomer who has won 5 consecutive feature races in 5th. He's leading the current points leader, the champion of Koch. And Koch is loose. Koch has blinked away. Koch has gone to see Rod Serling.
Obviously pushing it. Boy.
There you go. Bink.
Well, we go back live here, and now it's Tkach.
My apologies for the sound effects there. I got carried away with the Twilight Zone. So we lost one. We didn't think it would matter, but we got to Koch. All the bumping and banging, I think, that was going on back there, huh, Sean?
Yeah, and Berriman is now on his way to Christian Tkach. It's that lead is it's disappearing very quickly. Berriman now just 0.7 of a second back as they head up the front straight. Soup, I estimate about 4 laps left right here. Bruno Dometer now falls to about 4.5 seconds.
As I look here, I'm seeing with 6.5 minutes of racing to go, it looks like Berriman back by about 5 seconds on my timing and scoring from the lead. I don't know if it's so much the time. I think if it wasn't for Cowie and De Rijk and to catch between them, I would think that Berryman would have a better chance at it. I think those three drivers between him and Bruno Dometer, how about that? On his way, 5 minutes away, just under 6 minutes away from his first series win. Can't think of a better way to close up Season 6 of the AOR Formula Renault 2.0 Championship than have another winner, Bruno Dometer. Bring it home, baby. Cowie and De Rijk running second and third. Okay, here we go. Fourth position,
Yeah.
Sean.
Here's another one to catch. Falling into the clutches of Peter Berryman. There he goes. Completes the pass. All he's got to do is get through his car clean here. Berryman, perfect line. And that's another one for Peter Berryman. Go ahead and get him all now on up into fifth spot.
Fourth spot. Gap to the leader now from first to fourth, under 4 seconds. Bruno, he's coming. Bruno out there has got to know that he's coming. Even though he has a comfortable lead of 2 seconds, he's got to be putting in the hot laps right now, giving it all that he can do. Last lap for Dometer, a 1:49.2. Last lap for Berryman, a 1:47.7. It was Berryman's fastest lap of the race. 4.5 minutes to go as we look at P7. Oh, mercy. Vastamaki still racing in there with Villeman. Emre back there.
Yeah, this is still extremely crazy, Soup. I mean,
Yeah.
all these positions at stake. Jean-Francois Godin right on Emre's wing. Just behind them, Kerry Nolan still battling for position with Phil Reed.
And Sarah Dove just got passed for 15th position by Josh Thompson. Sarah having a nice run. Hey, you want to get some screen time? Come on in and talk to us between the races, okay? Look at this. I love it again. They come at you. And there's some Sarah Dove action. Little Bird having a good race. The blue car up in front is Thompson. Back to Peter Berryman now. He's closing in on sudden strike to Rijk. Berryman has got to hope that De Rijk doesn't live up to his nickname. It can happen quickly when you're racing with sudden strike. Oh, Sean, I think this one, I don't think he's going to get him before Parabolica, but I think it's, maybe not.
Just a thought, so it could be a horrible nickname if things didn't happen suddenly. You know what I mean? It's just a thought.
Slow strike, huh?
Oh, Berryman really starting to.
There he comes.
He's reeled him in now. Parabolica, nice run there for Berryman. He's going to go ahead and move around him here, slipstream him, and get around in the draft down the front straight. He should be well in front of him by the time he gets to the chicane here. His
there is
turn in should be easy.
There is no outbreaking Peter Berryman there, so he gets that one. Emre talking about something. I don't see him having any trouble. I think he's okay. So move Berryman now up into third spot. Let's give you the interval. 2.3 seconds with 2.5 minutes of racing to go. Bruno, pick him up and put him down, baby. Oh, Bruno's lost it. He goes over the chicanes. Oh, I pressured him into a mistake. The car cannot be healthy. He went over Sean Ambrose's, those sleeping policemen there.
Sleeping policemen?
Yeah, they slow you down. You don't realize
we're going to have to get an official name for them.
Meanwhile, so we have a pass for the lead as the Milkman is going to capitalize on the damaged car in front of him. There he goes as he gets around Dometer. Good news for Cowie, but better news for Peter Berryman now. Cowie back there urging Dometer to play some defense. There's no defense to be made as Berryman gets around the outside. Coming around is De Rijk on the inside. Berryman up into second now. De Rijk follow. Oh, there's a touch. Berryman is off in the grass. Can he save it? Yes, he can. He's going to be able to fight on again, but it's going to cost him some time. Sudden strike
Boy.
with a little sudden strike. The white is out.
Fine.
I don't know if he has time to get there now.
Wow.
The milkman trying to deliver the goods right now, but they are coming behind. Berryman, he has the right to get around. He's within shouting distance of Cowie. He's got to make quick work of sudden strike. Berryman back in third. Cowie working his way through Curva Grande, heading down into De La Roggia. Berryman trying to find a way. He's got to make it quick. He cannot wait here. Boy, they are right on the back of the milkman. Now they get through De La Roggia, okay, coming into 6 and 7. The two Lesmos, they get through the first one, okay. I think he's going to make his move here. He'll want to get sudden strike to right before they get into Ascari. So we'll have a better chance maybe in Parabolica. Here comes Berryman. He's going to get this done. They are side by side. I think he's going to be able to close the door. Now it's all about what kind of drive can he get. Can he clear him and get a good drive through Ascari? He can. So now there's nothing between him and the milkman. The only thing separating Andy Cowie from his first career win in the Formula Renault Championship is 3.6 seconds. And a man who has won 5 consecutive feature races in a row. He's coming. There's one corner left. Is Cowie a sitting duck? I think he might be. Here comes Berryman now. There's the last corner. He doesn't want to get wound up. Here comes De Rijk into the mix. That's not going to slow down Berryman. Oh, I don't know if there's enough time. A great drive off the corner from Andy Cowie, making the car as wide as he can. And I think it's going to go to Andy Cowie, your winner. He holds on.
Wow. Congratulations, Andy Cowie. Peter Berryman in second. Lawrence De Rijk in third. Whew.
Cowie's going to have to share some of that trophy with De Rijk, who did enough to slow down Berryman. Oh, my goodness. Any more battles back in the pack? It looks like they're coming across the center, way back. They're all done, I believe. What a way to wrap up the show here at the AOR Formula Renault 2.0 Championship. Andy Cowie picks up his first career win. Congratulations to the milkman.
Soup, the milkman delivers, baby.
The milk is cold and chilled and ready for sipping. We're going to take a short break here on the Global Sim Racing channel, but we'll be back in just a few minutes to talk to some of the drivers and close up shop for the final time this season. Back in a few. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of Apex Online Racing's Formula 2.0 Championship. We just put the sprint race in the books, the final event of the season. Let's run down your finishing order right now. How about it, the Milkman? It's going to be sweet milk tonight as Andy Cowie picks up his first career win, beating Peter Berryman by 1/10 of a second to the start-finish line. Lawrence Sudden Strike to right hangs on for third, Christian to catch, and Bruno Dometer. Boy, he had the win. Bruno lost it. He was able to salvage the 5th place. It's going to be hard to sleep tonight, Bruno. Knut Martinson, Jonas Vastamaki, another leader. Jean-Francois Godin, Phil Reed, and rounding out your top 10, Kerry Nolden. Sean?
Evan Imre going to finish 11th. Jeroen de Quartel 12th. Jonas Willman there in 13th. Daniel Morris 14th. Sarah Dove, well, she finished a lot better than she did in the first race, 15th. Josh Thompson, rough race for him, 16th. Adam Tierney, 17th. Patrick Kessler, 18th. Silvio Hurt falls all the way to 19th. Boy, that hurt. Manuel Hoyer, 20th.
And all the drivers Sean just named were on the lead lap. I get all the guys who had trouble. Christian Koch, Urka Lindstrom, Lee Robinson, Christoph Holstein, Alexander Valdo, and Scott Newton, 21st through 26th. But a tip of the hat to Christian Koch, our champion driver here, even though he wasn't having a good race at the end of the season, and also to his team, Vortec Sim Sports, for their team championship as well. Okay, we have interviews here. Oh my goodness, Sean, we have our pick. Who do you want?
Geez, wow. Where do we start?
I'm looking for the milkman, but I don't see him.
Where is Andy? Okay. I'll tell you what. Why don't we go ahead and take Sudden Strike to Reich? He finished third. Lawrence de Reich, what a race. That was absolute madness out there. You find the podium there at the end of the race. Talk to us about it.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. This season I was not enjoying the car anymore. I was more focused on the Ferrari league, on the AOR leagues. So I don't do any practice anymore. On only the hour before the race, I take the practice. But for some reason today, maybe I fell a little bit in love again with the car, and the sprint race, it was insane. Yeah, so many battling with the slipstreams going on here, and I saw Christian to catch coming behind me, and I thought, oh no, and suddenly there was Peter behind me, so he came out of nowhere, and he is so unbelievable fast on the straights. He just flies by like a super rocket, so it's unbelievable. And I gave everything, and unfortunately he beat me in the end, but he deserved it, because a lap before I slightly hit him on his right rear, so he was a bit off in the parabolica. So he deserved the second place, and I'm very happy with third actually. So good result.
Yeah, well, now we saw that you made that little bit of contact there with Peter, and he's able to hang on to it. This was about as competitive as a sprint race as I think we've seen all season.
Yeah, it was insane. Bruno was leading by 3 seconds from me all the time, and Andy was 1.2 seconds in front of me, and the gap just stays the same every lap. And I was pushing and I couldn't close in, and suddenly when Peter joined the battle, I think they made a mistake in front, and it was 3 wide on the back straight, and I could pass Bruno there, and so it was really enjoyable this time around.
Well, hey, listen, congratulations. A great season. It was great to get a chance to talk to you, buddy. Hopefully we'll get to see you in the near future.
Yeah, see you around, guys. Bye-bye.
All right, Soup. That, of course, was Lawrence Sudden Strike to Reich. You have caught up with Bruno Dometer.
Bruno, page 17 in the GSRC's commentator's handbook says, commentators should remain neutral at all time, but I got to tell you, I was pulling for you. You broke my heart there when you lost it in the chicane from the lead.
Yeah. I mean, this is. I have to be honest. I was crying. You will not believe me, but this was so intense. I mean, I was thinking to do everything right, and this thousands of seconds. I mean, in this chicane, this was But that's life. That's racing.
Well,
Gives
it's
me
not.
hope.
Yeah, it's not like you could take your time out there while you were leading because you knew that Berryman was coming, right?
Well, actually, I knew many of guys were faster than me, many. But Berryman, yes, I was scrolling this F3, this window, and I saw. But Andy was my biggest concern. I thought already that Berryman could not catch me anymore. But yes, that's how it is.
Well, and when you put on a good show, it was fun to watch. Congratulations on a 5th place finish.
Thank you very much.
Bruno Dometer, your 5th place. Okay, Sean, I'm going to let you wrap up the interviews with our points champion here for the driver, Christian Koch.
Christian, congratulations. You'll win this championship today. First, before we get started on that, talk to us about this sprint race. I know it wasn't your best race, but it was just absolutely crazy out there, wasn't it?
Yeah, hi guys. First of all, Soup, the whole season long you said Vortex SimSport. It's actually Vector SimSport.
It's Vector SimSport, of course it is.
All right. Race 1, I think we had a quite good setup, and the qualifying was okay. The start was intense with getting away or seeing Sean getting away, and fighting with Kerry and Manuel, who really had a great pace today, and after some laps, I was able to keep a little of a gap, and then keeping up with the pace and getting closer to Sean. Then with Josh behind me, who had a spin or something, I think he was a tenth or a 2 was faster, and so I just tried not to fight with him and to really get in his slipstream for a few laps. But then at the pit stop, Sean had a mistake and crashed into the pit wall, and I just didn't get it together to really brake for the plane. So I got a penalty for 15 seconds, which cost me actually 2 was possible. For the sprint race, it was just it was an intense race. It was nice to watch after I was gone, but can I say I just we had, I think I had 3 contacts. And those contacts were quite small, but with every contact I got a 4-time penalty.
Oof.
Or a 4-time incident. And there was one situation with Kerry where I lost a lot of speed through Variante Ascari, where just my button box disconnected for a few seconds, and I couldn't next gear. And after that, it was over. That was the day for me.
Yeah, well, hey, listen, Christian, congratulations. What a great season. I had so much fun watching you here this season. We're going to go ahead and let you go for now. We're going to bring in the rest of the guys here up there in the interview room and have a little bit of a chat with them, talk about their season. Look forward to seeing you next season, sir.
All right, see you guys.
All right, Soup. Now, that was Christian Koch. Of course, he had an interesting race, but we've caught up with, let's just say, the rest of the field. Everybody else brought them in here. We're going to have a little group chat with everybody. Phil Reed, Evan Imre, Jonas Fastamaki, Josh Thompson.
This never works.
Scott
when we do
Newton's
this.
here. Yeah, I know it never works, Soup, but we're going to give it a shot anyway.
All right,
Oh,
boys.
okay, so you want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead, Sean. It's your idea, buddy.
It was not my idea. It was the director's idea. Hey, listen, let me just start this off. Josh Thompson, boy, you did some awful hard fighting out there today.
Yeah, I thought I had quite a good pace, so I was like, I might as well try and use it quite nicely. Race 1 was quite good. Made a silly mistake trying to keep up with Pete, just trying too hard, just like in Kota, really. Made a silly mistake, got my head back down, came back 3 per second. So, yeah, pace was there. So I knew I had quite a good chance in the sprint with a reverse. Carnage at the start, it was like 3 wide, 4 wide everywhere. So much fun. And I got massive front wing damage over one of the curbs, which then completely ruined the car. Lost about 3 seconds a lap. So I just literally, I got up to like midfield near the top 10, and then after that just started going backwards because of the front wing damage. So bit of a shame, really, but yeah, I don't know how I didn't carry on after lap 2 going into Parabolica when I lost the back end. I thought that was me done over the top of everyone. So
I heard you complaining about that wing damage. That's the Renault, not always the toughest of cars. Phil, talk to us a little bit about the battle you guys were having up there for the getting inside the top 10. It was absolute craziness for basically most of the race.
Yeah, well, I was using my friend Jean to pull me along because I had some front wing damage, so I was just basically spending the entire time using him to get up, and then yeah, I was just sort of able to pass people. I was surprised considering I had the front wing damage that I was actually able to pass people here and there, but it went pretty well. I used some mind games on my friend up there, the Scots, to let him not allowed to pass me. You know, he's not allowed to pass me on the outside of the track. And then I was able to hold those positions in the end, and it came good, to be honest. I was worried that it was going to end pretty poorly, but actually it was not too bad in the end.
Hey guys, I'm going to ask this to all of you. This is from my wife from last week when she watched the broadcast. She had a really simple question. I said, I don't know, honey. She said, why don't they all just race like Peter Berryman? So that's my question now from me. Why don't you just do that?
Because he's more talented.
It is something to watch him. Yeah.
Yeah. Even being on within like in Q, being within 2 attempts, that was like an achievement in itself for me, to be honest. So
back to you, Sean. You finish this thing up, buddy.
Okay, Scott Newton. Listen, buddy. I know you had a power outage there to get started. That must just been gutted there.
Yeah, definitely in the sprint race. Was coming up to the back of the second place car, and just on the exit of Lesmo 2. Yeah, just like to thank the power for tripping out. I'm not sure what happened, whether it just threw me directly off the track or I became invisible. But yeah, luckily there was no carnage out of that. But yeah, I was definitely gutted because definitely had not the best end to the season. Just lucky that I cracked 100 points for the season in the feature, but then again in that I made the mistake going over the bumps and braking too much at Ascari on lap 5, and that's what threw me off the track. So yeah, definitely the close of the season was definitely not my best, but looking forward to the next season, trying to break 140 points, which is the personal best from season 5, I think it was. So yeah, definitely looking forward to season 7.
Well, and we're hopefully looking forward to seeing you back here. Certainly, we realize that the scheduling of this race and this event not the easiest for you down there, and but you make it every time, and hopefully better things are in store for you next season. So, guys, any parting comments by anybody? Anybody want to thank anybody before we let you go?
Everyone who took part in the series, starters, because without everyone turning up, the series won't be here. And you guys for the broadcasting. What makes it great, really.
Evan, Eunice, either of you want to say something?
It's been a great season. Tonight we topped it off, really. I'd done a really good qualifying session, solid feature race, and I got mugged at the end there in the sprint race, but looking forward to next season, yes.
All right, boys. Well, it has been fun, and congratulations for putting on a good show here at GSRC. Whoops.
Oh, yeah, Eunice. I think Eunice is going to pipe in here. Oh, we can't hear him. I can see him keying up, but I can't hear him. Try again, Eunice. And that uncomfortable silence means he's not going to... There he is.
Oh, it is.
Oh, yeah. Always unmute your microphone.
That should be the parting words for the whole broadcast. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that it was nice after struggling the early season to finally find a bit more pace near the end. Definitely not there up top yet, but having my better races, and I look forward to next season to see if I can push myself a bit more.
Well, Eunice, thank you very much. It was certainly fun watching you all season. It was fun watching all of you guys, and we thank you coming in, taking this time to interview with us, and we hope to see you all soon. So take care, everyone.
Cheers, take care.
It's kind of words you can use, apply in real life as well, that I'm going to do. Always unmute your microphone. That's just not only applies to interviews, but just life in general. Okay. We'd like to thank everyone at Apex Online Racing for organizing with Formula Renault 2.0 League, and to all the members who supported the broadcast. We know you have a lot of choices when you fly. Thanks for flying. GSRC. Thanks to... Oh, and by the way, that was a sincere question from my wife about that. I think it just exemplifies people that aren't sim racers. She just says, well, why don't they just do it like the fast guys? Well, it's not that easy, honey. Thanks to the company's equipment and software that you see on the screen right now that we use on our broadcast. The original music that you heard on today's broadcast is thanks to Eric Echolm and Casey Lalonde. It's kind of honey. It's like saying, why don't they just write music like Eric Echolm and Casey Lalonde? Well, it's not that easy. See the screen for how to contact each of them. Sean?
Buonanotte, Soup, and Season 6 of the Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault 2.0 Championship is in the record books. GSRC has very much enjoyed bringing you all the AOR action over the last 3 seasons, and we hope to return in some fashion in the future. Now, for more information about GSRC, your best bet is globalsimracingchannel.com, or look for us on social media. Find us at Twitter at GSR Channel, or on Facebook. If you go over there and you just type in Global Sim Racing Channel, all one word, like that, you will find us there immediately.
And now I get to say this for the final time this season on behalf of the man whose voice you just heard, Sean Crackers Ambrose, our director, Amjad Yaman. Man, nobody works harder than him when it comes to one of these AOR broadcasts. And how about our camera artist, Dougie Beard? Some of those shots that Amjad uses are really amazing. We'd all like to thank you for watching. With that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. So, until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.